Hey guys, how you doing? It's JoJo. Was just thinking this morning. I had somebody I was coaching who we were having the scale measuring tape conversation, and so I thought maybe it was a good time to post something up and just have that discussion a little bit so everyone can understand why it's so important to have both, especially when you're going through an isogenic system. This is something that's different than a diet. So typically when we are going on a diet, we're looking at the scale. We don't always look at inches. But when we're doing a typical diet, most of the time we're in deprivation. And so since we're not feeding our body enough calories, what happens is that we lose muscle mass a lot of times, and then we see the scale go down. It's not the way that we want to lose weight. We don't ever want to lose muscle mass. It's so important, especially as we're aging. And so for any of you youngins out there, I know you guys don't get this yet, but you will. So it's so important to have your muscle stay intact. So now when we look at going through an isogenic system, we are doing something totally different, where we are helping to rid the body of impurities. And as we rid the body of impurities, most of those impurities will come from inside of our fat. They actually are enrobed inside of our fat cells. So we shrink our fat down. Now, 5 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of muscle still both weigh 5 pounds, right? But 5 pounds of fat is this big, and 5 pounds of muscle is this big. So you can see the difference, right? Huge difference in size. So as we shrink down, a lot of times we may not see the scale move because we're keeping our muscle intact, and we're keeping we're not diminishing that muscle because we're keeping the good protein going on, and we're shrinking the fat down. So a lot of times, especially for women, we'll get to a point where we don't see the scale move, but we see our inches go down. So why is it so important to have a scale measurement and a tape measurement? That's the exact reason, because a lot of times if we're just looking at the scale and we're using that as a number, we're going, well, I'm not losing weight, I'm not losing weight, I'm not losing weight, but we're not taking a look at the fact that maybe I've gone down 2 sizes, or maybe I've lost 3 inches in my waist. And so sometimes we overlook that, even though it seems crazy, like how could we overlook the fact that our pants don't fit anymore because they're too big? But we do. We just do, because we put so much attention on that scale, and that scale is such a liar. It's such a liar. If we had a person in our life that lied to us as much as our scale does, we would boot them out. But we listen to that scale every single day like it's gospel, and it just isn't. Hey, Heather. Roberto, how are you, my friend? And so always we want to make 2 measurements. We want to get the scale. It is important. We also want to have that tape measurement, because when somebody says to me, hey, I'm not losing weight, I'll go, well, have you measured? Well, if you haven't measured, how can we have that to look back to? So we really need both of those to make sure that we're coaching you sufficiently, because if we don't have both numbers, there's no way that we can do that. Another great indication is to make sure that you take before and after pictures. And I don't care when you do them, just take them. So if you're in the middle of it right now and you haven't taken pictures yet, go do it right now, because we want to be able to see that. So we want to be able to know that we're retaining that muscle. So if we're shrinking down in tape size, but the scale is staying the same, that means we're reducing our fat, but we're retaining our muscle. How important is that, right? So that's exciting, and we see that's what happens all the time. We want to shrink down the fat and retain the lean muscle. That's what's going to keep us healthy. That's what's going to keep our balance as we age. That's what's going to keep our body and our metabolism functioning properly, because our muscle's staying intact. So important. So remember that. Always get a tape measurement, always get a scale measurement, have both, and then we can compare the 2. And so those 2 things are really important. Just wanted to share that with you today so you guys could make sure that you understand and know why we always ask for both, and how important it is to have that. And stop listening to that scale. So love you guys so much. Hey, go rock your health. And I hope you're getting ready for the holidays and you're going to have a good time. And, we're going to be posting up and helping to get you through the holidays without totally melting down. So it can be done. But we will talk soon. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.